Hey everyone, Pyro Bear 1776 here, and I want to try to cover this as soon as I can because it's really hot out and we have very high humidity. We have a little bit of breeze, which I am internally grateful for, but anyhow, this is something that I have been putting off for a little while now because, well, I just haven't done it, to be honest with you. But safety, with the 250th anniversary of the good old US of A coming up here in a week. Yes, one stinking week. That's crazy. I mean, it really truly is crazy. I figured it would be appropriate for me to put out a fireworks safety video. Now, we're going to go into each of the three main categories here, that being artillery shells, cakes, novelties. And yes, I'll talk about fountains as well and whatnot, but anyhow, let's go ahead and get into it with artillery shells. Now, this tube is from the Zeus King of the Gods 4-inch artillery shell kit. Now, you'll notice right here where it says, warning, shoots flaming balls. Now, obviously flaming balls, that's going to hurt you in some way, so I'm going to read this to you. Use only under close adult supervision. For outdoor use only. Place launcher upright on hard, smooth surface. Unwrap long fuse on shell. Put shell into tube with arrow pointing up, and with fuse extending out of tube. Do not hold in hand. Light fuse and get away. Let's break that down because I feel like it. Use only under close adult supervision. For outdoor use only. Adult supervision, meaning anyone who's 18 or above the age of 18. Why? Because kids do not act smart with fireworks and pyrotechnic devices. There's a reason why you have to be 18 or older. In my case, I am older. I am 22 years old. I'll be 23 in the fall, which I might do a special video about my birthday. I don't know. But anyhow, there's a reason why you have to be 18 or older to purchase these type of pyrotechnics, these type of fireworks, or just fireworks in general. Because kids do not act smart. Their brains are not fully developed, and that's just how it is. So anyhow, for close adult supervision, for outdoor use only. Fireworks are not really meant for indoor use. Now, unless it's a small sparkler or a small type of decoration that you put on a cake and it shoots sparks out like and whatever else, that's okay. But any of this big stuff, like cakes or Roman candles or the big novelties or whatnot, they are not meant for indoor use because people don't understand how hot a fuse is meant to burn on a firework. I mean, it's pretty hot. How do I know? I don't want to say I've been burnt with the fuse before, but I've come close several different times. Now, what does that mean? It means be careful. If you're doing these type of fireworks in a building, if it's near something that can catch on fire really easily, or something that doesn't respond to heat very well, you could have a building fire on your hands, and no one wants that. So anyhow, let's keep reading here. Place launcher upright on hard, smooth surface. Now, what does that mean? To me, there's been several different times before I really got into fireworks and pyrotechnics that I would see people just put them on the grass. And grass is not grass isn't really structurally sound. I mean, there's little air gaps in it, and if you were to put a artillery shell down and light it, then there's a small chance that the tube might do this and it might fall over while the shell is still in the tube. And if that happens, boom! It's hard telling where it's going to go. You know, I mean, it could hit someone's tree, could hit somebody and hurt them seriously bad. It could hit someone's house, could hit someone's shed, vehicle, whatever the case may be. We don't want that. Well, I don't want it, but there's a lot of crazy people in the world, so there might be some nut job who it wouldn't bother them. But anyhow, place this on a hard, smooth surface. If you don't have a hard, smooth surface, make sure you either get some planks of wood and secure it, or concrete blocks are even better. What I do when I shoot fireworks out in our little field there, well, like when I do demos for y'all, and if I just want to do it, I usually have at least 2 or 3 pretty good sized blocks of wood. Then I'll have a big old sheet of plywood. I'll take it, put it down like that, then take those blocks of wood, put 2 here, 2 here. You can never be too careful when it comes to fireworks. You can never be too safe when it comes to fireworks. As a matter of fact, while it's in my head, let me just tell you all about a quote I've heard from the wonderful, incredible Adam Savage. You know, the guy from Mythbusters, if you all remember that. You're never going to make something completely safe. The only thing you can do is increase the margin on safety to make something safer. And I fully agree with that. It don't matter what you do in your life. If something can be safer than it was before, you need to do it. Now, 3, 4, okay? It's better for something to be secure when a projectile is coming out of it than it to do this number and fall over. Okay? That's just how it is. One other little thing I want to say, well, there's a couple other things I want to say before I move on to cakes and like other aerial items, is when you're lighting something, don't do this, okay? Putting your head over something as you're lighting it, that's just asking for something bad to happen. Now, don't put a artillery shell in a tube upside down. You should not have to take a lighter and reach in the tube to light your device. There's a reason why they make those fuses long, because the fuse is supposed to hang out of the tube so you can light it there, then get away. Do not quote me on this, but I think between when you light it and when it reaches the lift charge in the bottom of the shell, the artillery shell, I think there's a 5-second delay that you have that you can take to go the other way, which you're supposed to do. So anyhow, one more thing, then we'll get to the cakes and the other aerial safety tips. And I actually heard this on Sparta Fireworks from Seth down in Sparta, Tennessee. As a matter of fact, I probably should have brought a different tube out here with me, but I don't feel like going to get it. But anyhow, this is a canister shell tube. It's nice and hard. Why, you might be asking? Because a canister shell is going to have a lot more force in it than a ball shell. Now, let's say that we have a cardboard tube here, a ball shell tube. Cardboard tubes are not designed to withstand a canister shell. Now, there's been several stories that I've heard all over the internet, all over YouTube, all over Facebook, literally everywhere where people can talk about fireworks. There'll be a group of people at a party, just for instance. There'll be fireworks there. Let's say you're nowhere about that. People are just having fun. Let's say they want to shoot some artillery shells. They see this. They don't know it's a canister shell tube. They see another tube over here. They don't know it's a ball shell tube. And I feel like I'm getting stung by something. So anyhow, moving on. It's hot. It's like 85, 90 degrees currently. It's supposed to be in the upper 90s next week. But anyhow, let's say that they have some canister shells and ball shells sitting on a table. Without thinking or without knowing anything about how fireworks operate. Let's say this individual takes a canister shell, unwinds it, sticks it down in the ball shell tube, puts it down, lights it, runs the other way. When that canister shell comes out of that tube, it could take that whole tube and just blow it to pieces. Because, just like I mentioned earlier, canister shells are not the same as ball shells. They have a lot more force. They have a lot more oomph to them. When he took that canister shell and put it down in that cardboard tube, that cardboard is not the same as this material. This material is shock resistant. It's not meant to blow apart unless you do something stupid like putting an artillery shell upside down in it. But anyhow, please, 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 do not put do not put canister shells in ball shell tubes. Now, you can put canister shells in canister shell tubes. You can put ball shells in canister shell tubes. But please, 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 and I'm spitting an awful lot and I'm not meaning to. Please, 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 do not put canister shells in ball shell tubes. It will obliterate the tube. All right. I think we finally covered artillery shells. Now, let's move on to cakes here. With cakes, it's a little bit different, but it's along the same thing. So, for those of you who don't know what a cake is or what a cake really means, here's what it is a little bit. A cake is a pre-fused firework that is within basically two standards. It's either a 200 gram or it's a 500 gram. This in particular, this is just a missile base, a 25 shot Saturn missile base by Black Cat Fireworks. Now, we're going to read the warning label on the back here. Warning, flammable with report. Shoots whistle into air. Use only under adult supervision. Outdoor use only. Do not hold in hand. Do not hold in hand. Same thing with this. You do not put in a canister shell or artillery shell of some kind and hold it in your hand. You do not do this. You do not do this. You do not do this. Why? Because it is stupid. It's that simple. Okay? You are not right in the head if you do that, what I just mentioned. Because these things, when they go off, they have a lot of power behind them. A lot of power. It can hurt your hand. It can hurt your forearm, hurt your shoulders. And it's stupid. It could probably set you on fire. I don't know, but I'm not going to try it. But anyhow, basic things with cakes. Do not do this as you're lighting it. Do not stand right on top of it. Same thing that I was talking about with the artillery shells is with the cakes. Do not hold them. Do not stand over top of them. When you light that fuse, you run away. Okay? I mean, you don't have to sprint, but, just, jog maybe. Walk a little fast. Because you don't want to get so far away that you can't see the show, if you will. But anyhow, something that I always try to do, I keep a water source nearby so I can extinguish the cake after it's already spent its show, if you will, spent its shells. I don't extinguish it right away, because if you do that, you risk a chain reaction of either getting a bunch of hot ash in your face, or something else just might happen. Also, let me go back to artillery shells real quick here. Let's say that you've already shot one. Do not put another one in right away. Please wait at least 30 seconds before you put in another tube. Because what can happen with that is once the shot goes off, the lift cups can get lodged down at the very bottom of the shell, and it can actually hold the shell into the tube. Which means for that, when you go to light it, it may not come out of the tube. It might blow up in the tube, take the tube with it. I've had that happen before. It is scary. It's very scary. But anyhow, so we've covered artillery shells. We've covered cakes. Last but very not least, novelties. There's nothing in that. That's just like prop box, if you will. Well, not very last least, but fountains. We'll get into that as well. Now, this particular torpedo cracker snaps. I love this brand. I really do. I swear by this brand. I swear by torpedo red cracker snaps. I love scaring people with those. There's been several times where I've scared the living snot out of Snoop before. I've scared cousins. I've scared other family. Those are just a fun thing to have, not just for July, not just for the summer. They're fun to have all the time. But anyhow, let's read it here. Let's do some reading. Warning, explosive. Because basically what these are, they are fuseless firecrackers. Warning, explosive. Use under only close adult supervision. That's just with fireworks in general. Even the little stuff. Because even the little stuff can hurt you. I've seen videos of people getting burned with sparklers before. You just don't know. Keep adult supervision around you at all times when you're doing fireworks. So anyhow, let's keep reading. Outdoor use only. Hold one firecracker at a time. Sometimes I'll hold two in my hand, be walking away or just something cool like that and go kaboom! Just to goof off a little bit. But anyhow, something that I do recommend you do when you're playing with these or using these. Let's say I have one in my hand right now. As I'm winding up to throw it, I look away right when I throw it, because if you're doing it in an area where you don't, like a rocky area or in a driveway or something, if that hits something and you don't wear glasses, you could get debris in your eyes. That is not worth it. It's really not worth it. So yeah, you have one in your hand. You're walking away. When you raise your hand up to throw it, when you get to about maybe shoulder length, look away. It's not worth getting stuff in your eyes. It's really not. So anyhow, for ignition, throw fuseless firecrackers against a hard surface. So yeah, they're not going to work in the grass. They're not going to work. What's another example here? I can't think of one. But yeah, these fuseless firecrackers, they're not going to work in the grass. Okay, let's keep reading here. Do not throw fuseless firecrackers at people or animals. That is just proper firework etiquette. That is something, really, when you think about it, that's something out of respect. Not only for your family or friends, for yourself, for your dog, for your cat, for whatever. That's just something you don't do. But anyhow, never carry fuseless firecrackers in clothing. That's just, that's just something that, why would you take the chance? That's just something that you don't do. You guys have seen where I put these in a bag with other poppets with a bunch of sawdust in it. That sawdust acts as a shock absorber. That's why those are packaged in sawdust. But anyhow, and just with novelties in general, be careful with them. Like those Noisy Boys by Fireworks. I would never dream in a million years about holding one of them in my hand, lighting it, taking it in this hand, and throwing it. You know why? Because that's stupid. Just straight up, it's stupid. It's something that, number one, the device is not meant to do. It's something that you just don't do. Anyhow, I think I've pretty well covered novelties here, so I don't have a fountain with me, but let's say I did. I don't care how much you think you know about fireworks. When you light that fuse, you get away. Because you don't know. There's just a safety aspect you have to have on you at all times when you're doing fireworks. That's just how it is. Alright, I think I've pretty well covered everything. I mean, NOABs / finale racks are the only other thing I can think of that I might need to cover. But if anyone knows anything about NOABs, NOABs are big, you know. NOABs can be ungodly loud. They sound like cannons when they go off. And the breaks that come out of them are ungodly huge. So what's that mean safety-wise? Basically, everything that I mentioned with all this other stuff over here. Plus, if you have someone who is watching your show in your group and your family, let's say you're doing it with friends or acquaintances, let's say someone doesn't like loud noises very much. Maybe give a warning or something that, hey, we're getting ready to do some finale racks then we'll close the night off. Because, you know, finale racks are very, very loud. They're very, very loud. They're very, very impressive. They go very, very high in that order. I'm talking like 300, 350 feet in the air. So anyhow, with that in mind, maybe recommend plugging your ears, using some kind of, some kind of protection so you don't hurt your ears. And, just along the same thing, canister shells are very loud too. There's some cakes that a few manufacturers make that are just as loud. Saturn missiles, they're loud and they're repetitive. And they're very inconsistent when they go off. It may go 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1, just depending how many shots it has. But anyhow, I'm sorry that I've been loud through most of this, but I need to get this point across. Fireworks are something that you have to be safe with at all times when you're doing them. Because if you're not, you could get hurt, you could hurt other people could possibly even die. It's not worth it. Fireworks are fun, but they could very well potentially be dangerous. That's why you always have to be careful. You always have to exercise caution when you're doing this kind of stuff, because if you don't, you're gonna get hurt. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I plan on releasing more firework related content here in the few days when the 4th comes up. I might try releasing some when I get off work even. I don't know yet. But I have so much of it that I need to start releasing video after video, short after short, because I have a lot to cover. I have a lot of it. But anyhow, guys, if you don't hear from me again until after the 4th, have a safe, happy, fun, just have an awesome 250th anniversary. Have a happy, incredible Independence Day. With that, this is Pyro Bear saying, we'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.